G'day everybody and welcome back to another episode of Craft by Tim. I have a package. Alright, so I don't actually think that I have the right to be excited about this package considering how long it's been sitting in the shed. I have a quick little video for you guys today because I've got like 3 other videos that are sort of on the go and I really want to get those out, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting for too long. So instead, I was going to make a quick little video about melting some metal. And we're going to be melting down some brass today. Low power. Fantastic. Nice. Okay, so for this mystery project that I've got coming up, I needed to get some green sand for casting. And I was hoping to just buy a packet of green sand because mixing it is sort of annoying, but I couldn't. I'm going to show you guys how to make your own green sand. We have 2 different materials. We have bentonite clay, which you can buy in the form of clay kitty litter. Super cheap and very easy to acquire, but you have to blend it yourself. Otherwise you won't get really fine powder. We're going to need 12% bentonite clay to 88% of our silica sand, and this is basically the same as your regular play sand. One kilogram. It's looking pretty good. Now we just add 3% of the dry weight of water. So this being 5 kilos, it should only be about 300 ml. However, I'm going to start off with 200 ml, or 250, being about a cup, and then I'll slowly mix in the extra stuff, checking and making sure that this is coming together how I want it. It's definitely not enough. Now this is way better than the last time I did this. This has come together so easily and so nicely. I added about 2.5 cups of water, so that's like 700 of water. And you can see that it's really come together nicely. That's what you're looking for, basically. If you grab a handful, squeeze it in your hand, comes together really well. And then when you break it, comes together nice and clean. Not too crumbly or anything like that. If it's too sloppy, add more dry mix. If it's too crumbly, add more wet. We've done our first pre-fire of the crucible, and now we're going to wait until the foundry gets up to temperature again. We're going to put the crucible back in it, get it back up to temperature again, and then we can start adding our brass. Just a quick recap. Alright, I'm going to cut you off there, Tim. Nobody wants to hear you ramble for another 10 minutes. Okay, so what am I actually doing? I'm melting down some brass and copper. The reason why I'm melting down both these materials is because I don't actually have enough copper to do anything substantial with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it with the brass, because brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. And by melting this all down and making ingots out of it, I should hopefully end up with a more pure material that is a combination of both, but it is cleaner and it doesn't have all of the impurities from things like rubber O-rings or Teflon tape or anything like that. What I should have done while sorting through this is actually separate it out into 2 materials. Copper has a melting point of over 1,000 degrees Celsius, close to about 1,008
980, and brass has a lower melting point at about 920 degrees Celsius, but liquidates readily at about 950 degrees Celsius. But zinc, on the other hand, starts to burn at anything above 900 degrees Celsius. So what I should have done is I should have liquefied all my copper, added the brass, and by doing it this way, I would have reduced the amount of zinc burning off before I was actually ready to pour, because I wouldn't have had to have it sitting at that high temperature for so long. Now, the other thing that you'll see me doing whilst I'm melting all of this down is adding borax. And what borax does is it stops it from oxidizing, and by doing that it sort of helps get rid of some of those impurities, and it will also help with the zinc from burning off as well.
Alright, so, admittedly they're not the cleanest looking ingots that you've probably ever seen. However, perfectly practical, and now I just have to get a smaller crucible, because I think one of the issues that I ran into was because my crucible was so large, it was hard to melt everything that was in the very center of the crucible whilst trying not to burn the outside. So I was constantly spinning that crucible as I was melting the material. However, we ended up with a decent result. I've got heaps of material now for my next project, which I'm gonna probably have to do a little bit of tweaking with my process to get it right. But I think the main thing is getting a smaller crucible so I don't overcook it. At a guess, I would say that I would have melted probably about 4 kilograms. So that's almost 500 grams on the money. Nice. Just over a kilo. Almost 2.269. Almost 3 kilos. So about 3.7 kilograms of more or less pure brass. It's actually kind of funny. I guess my impatience didn't really pay off. As you can see that there's still not only the impurities on the surface, but you can see that there's still remnants of screws and stuff that didn't fully melt down thank you everybody so much for watching this video. I have a bunch of other projects that I've got planned in the meantime before the second part of this comes out. But in the meantime, I hope you stick around to see some of those projects. The next one, I hope this ends up being the next one. I'm really excited about. I've been working really hard on it, and I've been putting a lot of effort into it, so I hope it comes out really nice. But anyway, so I hope to catch you then, and I'll see you all in the next episode. In the meantime, do remember to stay safe, happy crafting, and as always, cheers.